Friends, I am so sorry. I'm coming in really smoking late here. Yeah, I was working out. Yep, you can dock me as unexcused tardy today. But I was doing something healthy. I promise. I promise. I was doing something good for the body. How many folks on your cabinet? That's a good question, isn't it? Work out on a daily basis. That's not the theme today, but it's a pretty important question, isn't it? I think the movers are truly the shakers of performance. Not my personal opinion; it's backed in research. So, boss, as we kind of cruise through February here, might be a really good time to just check in one on ones, or maybe if you've got enough cohesion at the cabinet level to ask your folks, how healthy are you, and how healthy do you want to be? Yeah, yeah, not just running around the track and lifting weights and stretching but also, are you drinking enough water? It's not that difficult. You can ask your Claude, uh, whatever you're using, to say, "How much water should I be drinking?" And you can put in how much you weigh. You can keep that private. Yeah, because it's pretty well calculated. But also the stuff that we're eating. Are you generating energy from the stuff that you're putting in your boca? Right? That's a pretty important question, and some bosses would say that's not anything of my business. I would say it's absolutely your business, because the new commodity of performance across the executive space is energy. It truly is. It's energy, isn't it? Yeah. If you're arguing with me right now, I tell you what, you represent, and I mean this with a great deal of love, you represent a whole class of just average people within our systems that have just kind of learned to live average lives. Well, average lives generate average energy. I promise this is not the topic for today, but sometimes those things that are really important just bubble to the top as my preamble. Yeah, pre-blabber. There it is. So, yeah, boss, why don't you have a conversation with your folks about energy? That's You can couch it in energy and ask, are you moving around enough? Are you getting enough steps? Are you taking the steps? Are you parking in the far lot and making excuses to, say hi to people on your long walk into work? Are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough of the green stuff? We're not talking gummy bears. We're talking green leafies. So important. And then the last one, why don't you talk about sleep? And you might have to wake a few of your people up because they're maybe so tired that they're sleeping in your meetings. But yeah, are you getting how do you even ask that question? How about this? Um, yeah, how do you ask a question about sleep? Because it's not 8 hours for everybody. That's kind of a myth. Are you waking up rested? How about that one? Try that. Are you waking up rested? Okay, shifting here. I want you to count. I'm not a. I like grammar. I hated grammar in school. In fact, for all of you that were in your AP English classes, yeah, it wasn't me. I wouldn't have been in your class. I was in like regular, yeah, classes all through high school. I found the joy of learning much later in life. First gen college student, and then kaboom, this whole world of learning just opened up to me. Many of you could probably resonate with that. Yeah, I played sports, and I just had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in school. Go school. But school wasn't that important to me. But you think about grammar. How many times has somebody in your last cabinet meeting just done the grammar thing wrong and said myself instead of me? You know what I'm talking about. It's a thing where I go, are you kidding me? Why do you have those things on your wall behind you and you talk like that? Right? Those nice little certificates. It's like, hey, the board and myself decided or between the superintendent or the provost and myself, 2 syllables instead of one. Totally grammatically wrong. Functionally, it probably reveals everything about why your cabinet really isn't great yet. Right? Here's some math that hurts. Okay, leadership teams function at 60% of their collective potential. Not my opinion. Lots of data out there. MIT proves it. We do panel research on a regular basis that shows up pretty consistently. Sometimes we dip below 60%. And when you think about that, your cabinet costs, what does it cost? Just go around the table. 140,000, you're making 160,000. Boss, you're making plus preferred parking. Yeah. 60% of all of that are on your tables. I'm just guessing $400,000 burning every year, not from incompetence, from missed multiplication infrastructure. That's really what it was. And you're allowed to feel frustrated. And in fact, you can have the luxury of just clicking me off right now. But what it's about is brilliant people who are producing ordinary collective results. Yeah, there are not enough campuses. And I'm not poking fun at you, I'm poking fun at the entire sector. There are not enough campuses out there that are results based campuses. And we're wondering why everybody has to run to the Capitol this time of the year. In fact, day one in my great state to just rattle the cage and, excuse me, throw shoes and whatever it takes for us to get more funding. Well, you know what? If it's a capacity issue, I get that. But if it truly is an alignment issue, we got some more work to do, because most of our institutions really leave about 40% of discretionary effort on the table. Not meaning you're not working hard enough. That is not the case here. It's your CFO and your CAO, right? And your VP of AA are not as aligned as they need to be. And it's leaving a lot of stuff on the table, and you can't hire fast enough. And the quality of the people, some are saying the pools are not even wet spots today, Joe. Yeah, it's a real deal. It really is a real deal. And multiplication is where we must be in this VUCA Banny world. Look those 2 terms up, right? We can't just play addition. Your communities need better. So think of your people. Think of your people around the table. You've got 2 types. I call the first type the A50s. Okay. And the second type are the B+3. Those are patterns. Okay. Once you see it, guaranteed, you're just going to stick this in your bones. You're going to remember it. Okay. Your cabinet is full of these. The A50 performers, these are the people that earned A grades by investing 50 hours of effort, grinding, perfecting, staying up late, not tucking kids into bed, outworking everybody. That formula really built their careers, right? It might have built yours. And it's killing your collective performance. Okay. It's a badge of honor that you're holding, but it is not leading to the results that your institution deserves. Because the A50 performers, they count contributions. I stayed until 8 or 9 or 10. My section is more thorough than yours. They add, they don't multiply, because multiplication requires letting someone else's thinking make your thinking better. Let that sink in. And for someone whose just identity is built on individual excellence, it got you there. But we've got to perform at a whole nother level, folks. And guess what? I don't think anybody's going to be throwing more dollars at you, right? It's terrifying. And it's going to lead to massive capacity issues, right? And there's already an epidemic of burnout inside the system that is leading to a ton of distrust outside the system, right? So when you don't see this, you keep hiring for brilliance, and you just wonder why that collective performance, why does it lag? Why aren't our gaps occluding? But when you do see it, you realize you haven't built a team. You've built a meeting where individuals report progress around the table. I'm so sick and tired of meetings lasting way too long for the report outs. Let's get better at that, right? My separate project that happened to share in my budget, and my here's the other type. Okay, I'm changing the soundtrack here a little bit. The number two are the B plus three performers. These are much rarer. Those are the B plus. Okay, you got a B plus. You probably didn't get a nice boost in your allowance for that B plus. The A kids got richer. I was a B plus kid, but 3 hours of work effort because I had, I had to go out and play in the backyard. I had things to do. Not the highest grade, but remarkable intelligence about how results actually happen. They've figured out study groups beat solo grinding. Mm-hmm. Who gets the credit doesn't matter if the team wins. They default to we because I alone. It's not enough. I can't get there. I need my people to meet that B plus performance. They've developed the one skill that I would say your A50 performers never needed, that multiplication instinct, right? So here's the team intelligence equation. You all know, wrote the book. It's in print right now. I wish I had a copy to point at, but it's all about IQ times EQ times PQ. It equals TQ. That is your team intelligence. Okay, your IQ, it's your individual competence, right? You hired brilliance. You've got a ton of high IQ people. That's not the gap. That's not the gap that we're talking about. Your EQ, you all know what that is. Your bedside manner. It's your common language to build a shared culture. That's where A50 performers kind of fragment, don't they? If you think about it, if I'm a solo performer, right, high IQ put into the EQ space, I'm going to fragment. I'm going to show up, grab that half a sandwich, right? And I'm going to go about my merry solo way, right? 8 brilliant people fluent in different professional languages trying to have one strategic conversation might have been the noise that clogged your brain today. Okay. Your PQ, that's understanding how each person is wired and how their role multiplies others. Very, very important skill that most do not have, right? It's being able to read the room before it reads you. Okay. So multiplication, right? It's got to be multiplication. Addition isn't going to keep you afloat, folks. Um, any dimension, IQ, EQ, or PQ, uh, that isn't there, you can't multiply by zero. Collective performance just collapses. And it goes average. And most systems are remarkably average. Um, I love sharing success stories. I'll call him Marcus, not his real name. Um, Mark, you know who you are. Brilliant cabinet. Uh, Felt like he was running really 8 excellent organizations that happened to share a zip code. I gave him one assignment, okay, the pronoun audit. And he opened his last meeting notes and counted four of those myself errors, okay, for everyone on his cabinet. Yeah, he brought that data into his cabinet as a mirror, not as an accusation. He never built multiplication infrastructure. And he said, you know what? I want to change that today. And people were like, what? What? He said, one new ritual. Every meeting, I want to open up with one thing in your life right now, work or personal, that you're just genuinely excited about or struggling with. What's your real answer? Where are you encouraged? Where are you challenged? How many teams open up that way? If it's yours, I want to hear from you. Put it in the comments right now. If your team opens up that way, hey, we're going to go around the room. We'll call it a 2-minute drill. Where are you encouraged right now? Where are you challenged? Right? 8 weeks. That's all it took for his CFO to call his CAO, not for a meeting, not to coordinate. We're so good at coordination, but collaboration, that's a whole different thing. To think through a problem together. First time in 4 years. 6 months later, 3 initiatives fully executed. Staff retention started to trickle up the right way. Cabinet satisfaction scores, not the squishy ones, the actual ones, went up by nearly 20%. And Marcus told me, hey, I've spent 4 years trying to build a better strategic plan. Don't we all do those? I like the green sticky dots the best. Yeah. But I needed to build a different operating system. I said, same people, just different infrastructure. That's what it's about, right? So here's really what's at stake. You know, when your cabinet, when it operates in addition mode, students are feeling it. They kind of feel just, well, this feels like any other campus that I might be on right now. We've got fragmented initiatives. We've got contradictory guidance. We've got the Uber effect. When I take Uber from hotel to campus, I always talk to my Uber guy or gal. And oftentimes they used to be the student there, but they were kind of lost. Okay. Not a whole lot of guidance. Maybe the friction of the system led by people who are excellent in their silos. Okay. And incoherent across them. So there are builders and there are dreamers and there are climbers. We need builders, folks. Builders don't wait for talent to spontaneously multiply, right? Or to come back from the AA whatever conference, right? National conference. You know, they actually create the conditions that make multiplication inevitable in-house. You don't have to hop on a plane and go find the solution. The solution is right there. The average superintendent influences, let's just say 50 leaders and 1,000 teachers, okay? 20,000 students. When you shift your cabinet from myself to we, you actually multiply. You multiply that impact across your entire system and your students feel it. So here's your move tonight. Open your last 3 cabinet meeting notes. Not that you counted myself pronouns, but think in your head, who are the people that use that versus we, right? And if the myselfers outnumber the weers by more than 2 to 1, you have a design problem, boss. And design problems are definitely solvable. Good news. Then at your next cabinet meeting this week, or probably early next week, open with one question before the agenda. What's one thing in your life right now that you're encouraged by or you're challenged by, right? And let's be honest. Could be in 8 weeks, that single ritual. Watch your cabinet change, boss. If you want a full implementation guide, that pronoun exercise is actually something that we do in the Team Institute. Okay. It's an institute, 8 sessions, specifically generated for your team, developmentally delivered. So one session delivers on the next session with some serious homework in between. And it is only for serious people that want to grow and develop and accelerate their performance in a results-based culture. Folks, boss, your cabinet isn't broken. They just need different infrastructure. So if you're interested in that, I think I can point to it. It's right over there. It's right over there. Yeah, take a look at that QR code. Hit it, snap it, whatever people do to QR codes. It should drive you to the Team Institute. We are enrolling for spring. So if that's something, if you're a superintendent and think, oh my goodness, our team could use a bit of a boost this spring and maybe even into the summer. 8 sessions. They go by quickly. Many times we co-facilitate with you. And all of these things come fully equipped with some internal coaching and also workbooks and things that you can, a lot of it you can drive really during your own standing meetings. So if you want to learn more, check it out. Remember, your cabinet isn't broken. They need different infrastructure. Let's build differently. Build like a champ today. Go USA. I'm Dr. Joe. I'll see you next week, and I promise I'll be on